Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. Happy 22nd day of Inkvent and happy final day of Hanukkah. If you celebrate, like we're closing in on the final countdown, just a couple of more days left to go in number 22. Lucky number 22 because it's like twice my lucky life number 11 and a very lucky number in its own right. But anyway, lucky number 22 is up here in between two of the snowflakes whose like ice crystals are made out of fountain pen nibs. I really hope they've been like saving the big guns, the best ones for last. I've been like, I've said in prior videos, I don't really hate any of the colors, even Marie Rose from day 5. It's just I've been kind of a little bit disappointed by how many like light, pale, pastel-y colors we've been getting. That's just not my jam at all. I'm not a girly girl. I like the dark, dramatic, intense, vivid, like wintry colors. And we've just been getting like way too many like girly, like springy pastels. So number 22 is this Pineapple Spritz. Okay, this looks kind of golden, and yes, it's a shimmer ink. Pigment chameleon. Oh, that's a completely different ballpark. And speaking of, I am still waiting on the Starbright ink. Maybe they're saving that for the last day. So this looks, it's like kind of like a greeny, goldy kind of thing. This is an entirely new ballpark. Let's swatch it out on my desk. That definitely looks like pineapple. It really matches its name. I don't remember if I've said this in any prior videos, but it should have been like pretty freaking obvious from the fact that I have every ink in the Monteverde Sweet Life line. I didn't buy them as the set. I bought them like separately and with BOGOs and stuff, so I like ultimately saved money, didn't pay what I would have paid had I like bought the whole set like full price. But I love inks that are named after foods, particularly sweet foods. I have a major sweet tooth. As I was saying before, I lost my train of thought in this completely unscripted video. Obesity is not a dirty word. It's a real medical condition. But unfortunately, I was like obese at one point. I've like lost about like 75 pounds since then. But I still have a very sweet tooth. I will probably always be a lower plus size, and I love inks that are just named after foods. I have the like fun idea. I'm gonna start like a handwritten cookbook, a sweet stuff, of course, desserts mostly, and maybe some savory stuff that can lean on the sweet side. And I'm going to like write this cookbook with all of my inks named after food. So like salted caramel, the iced cookie, blueberry muffins, strawberry shortcake, cherry Danish, nutmeg, cranberry. What else do I have in that collection? Chocolate pudding, pumpkin cake, mango mousse, key lime pie. Just so much like fun stuff. And I really like how they perfectly matched. Does this look like pineapple or what? I mean, of course, the real pineapple, you probably couldn't really write with that, but pineapples can look like other colors, particularly as they're starting to age. And I totally forgot this is a chameleon. I was so excited about the fun color, and I'm looking for the shimmer particles. I'm not really seeing them peeking through quite yet, but this is like a very wet swatch. Just paint off the excess up here and then I'll shake it up yet again, as I like rant about so many times, and many other people on like pen and ink tube as well. Of course, they're like really beautiful, like the shimmers and the chameleon inks, but you have to shake them up like 11 million freaking times for the shimmer to actually show up. And even when they're like in the pen and you're not like swatching or doing artwork with them or dip pen writing, you still have to like fairly regularly like agitate the pen, like roll it around, like shake it up, because otherwise you're just like wasting the pigment or the shimmer chameleon particles. It's a little bit of bleed through from yesterday up at the top. I know some people might think, oh, this is a unflattering color. I'm not going to say what they might think it reminds them of. You can probably like fill in the blanks, like use your own imagination. Yellow isn't always necessarily the most flattering color. It reminds people of like things that most decent or polite people don't really talk about in mixed company or even like with friends. It's just so like private. They didn't even show that kind of thing on TV or the movies for like a long time, but yeah, I'm liking it. It seems like a wet ink, judging by how it's, you know, clinging to the brush. So, and I'm liking the yellow color, but the thing is, I don't think I have any pens with like yellow in them. That yellow is the predominant color. I think the closest is my George Washington LaBeouf pen, which went from like an impulsive, poorly thought out buy that writes like crap. The nib is like digging into the fibers on every single type of paper I tried on, to a really great favorite pen because Kirk Spear ground it to an architect that I still have to do that video coming up, but really, really enjoying this happy pineapple spritzy color. I hope I am able to squeeze the entire name onto the swatch card. This is a long ass name, and don't misspell pineapple. That's one of those spellings I think many people are confused by. Like, are there two N's in it? So only one N in it. You know, even as adults who can spell like very well, like, you know, professional writers like myself, sometimes we can, you know, like get tripped up on certain like spellings because that's just not a spelling we like use all the time. There's a little bit of smudging. That's going to be embarrassing. Just have to, I guess, quickly, damn it, blot that up. That's humiliating, but of course I believe in learning from our mistakes, so that will be up in the video, and it's not worth editing out something that small. Pineapple Spritz. You can never predict what's going to happen. Particularly, this is an entirely new kind of ink. Pineapple Spritz. This is a really, really wet ink. I'm going to have to, like, you know, sop it up with a tissue. This is like not what I was expecting, but frequently dip pens do have a lot of, you know, ink clinging to them. Hopefully that shows up well. Like, move up to the top before the thing totally dries. Diamine Inkvent Day 22. I hope I'm not leaning too far into the frame. Day 22. So yeah, this is going to be interesting to pull out. I'm sorry, I think I misuse or overuse the word interesting. A lot of my videos, like, you know, definitely, and other, of course, obviously, those are other overused words. So yeah, I'm going to have a devil of a time pulling out potential or close enough matches in my final segment, because I just don't have a lot of yellow inks. Like, I don't think most people like prefer yellow inks. It's just not a color in their arsenal, even if it might be their, you know, personal favorite color. It's just kind of hard to get you know, legibility with it, and hopefully I can squeeze everything into this tiny ass space. 2025. That's smudging together, but like, who gives an F? It's, you know, as long as the title or the name of the ink is the most legible thing. Day, and that's already smudging with my finger touching it. This is humiliating, but you know, whatever, we learn from our mistakes. From what I am seeing so far, this does appear to be kind of a more legible yellow. I believe the general rule is when they lean more towards the brown or the golden yellow side of the spectrum, or even a little towards the orange side, then yellows will generally be a bit more like legible for like regular, practical, realistic, all-purpose writing, even though like I don't really have much of any orange in my ink collection. I'll have to hyphenate that one. Don't really care. Inkvent. I'm going to have to like do a whole thing about like things I learned from this year, and I won't carry into next year's Inkvent if I do it again, versus like things I did this year I didn't do last year that were a success. Just constantly learning from our mistakes. This is very much a work in progress for me. Inkvent 2024 to a smiley face to fill up the space, because big gaps make my eyes twitch, and Freud would have a field day with me. To smile. Smiley face. And Teal Edition. I have to be quick with cleaning out the dip pen as well, and the paintbrush. I hope I'm not leaning too far into the camera screen, and I hope I don't sound like an annoying, obnoxious broken record when I say that. But you know, when you've like done that stupid ass mistake more than a few times, it's embarrassing, and you don't want to keep repeating it. Teal Edition, day 22. Pineapple Spritz. This will definitely be, I'm sorry, I said definitely again, a huge ass, you know, gap. So another smiley face. 2. Pineapple Spritz, it's kind of on an angle. Who gives an F? Pineapple Spritz. So it does seem to be reasonably wet in that it's still clinging to the dip pen, but that could also be because like it's a pigment ink and they like stay freaking put forever and ever and ever. Pineapple Spritz. I'll have to fit that onto 2 lines because there's no way that fits on that line without leaning too far onto the line below and just looking like an embarrassing, unprofessional mess. And I will do a short writing sample and get back to you guys, plus with the comparison swatches. I'm very surprised I ended up really digging this ink, even though like yellow isn't my jam at all. I had a devil of a time, as I said, like finding anything that came even remotely close. There were a couple of colors I thought maybe, but when I looked at them, they were like much closer to a lighter shade of orange and out yellow like this. As I wrote on with it, maybe it was just because I was using a stub nib, which, like, if you don't know, has no tipping. So, but anyways, as I wrote on with it, it did seem to start to feel a little bit like drier than when I was like writing it with the paintbrush and the dip pen. But maybe I would just have to put it in a pen with a broad nib and see, maybe that would be a somewhat wetter, more lubricated writing experience. And when I'm, looking, well, I do see the shimmery chameleon particles, particularly as I tip it towards the light and the writing on the swatch card, but I don't really see much of any like sparkliness on the full writing sample, or even in the miniature swatch I did up at the top left corner. I put it in my 1.1, as I said, a millimeter stub nib silica. This is a Delta Duna pen. It was an Atlas exclusive. I'm like so happy I got it. I never thought a white pen would be even remotely my style, just like I never thought I would really like jam with the yellow ink. But like life is full of surprises, and so like I thought a yellow color or a light pastel would go better in a stub nib, because like they're really an ideal canvas for like showing off inks with special properties, and a white pen is like a blank canvas. You can put just about any color in it. And let me zoom you guys in for the relative few comparisons I could find. This is possibly the closest Dungo Wasp from Pannonia. It does seem to be leaning more towards the light orange side of the spectrum, but as compared with Pineapple Spritz, I do think it has like some similarities. I also thought to compare it with last year's yellow in the Inkvent calendar, lemon and lime. I don't think anybody really liked this color at all. It was so freaking light, but again, like compared with Pineapple Spritz, you can see the difference. This is much more yellowy, and this leans more towards the golden slash like light brown, like orange side of the color spectrum. And lemon and lime is just, it looks like its namesake, and not like in a good way, because it's just not really legible. So I can't believe I really ended up enjoying this ink so much, particularly after I've been, complaining about it. Give us like darker colors already. I'm tired of the baby, like pastel-y, girly girl stereotypical spring type of colors. But I love this ink. If I were going to get a full bottle of a yellow ink, this would be a strong contender. Although, like, to be fair, I don't think this would finish the year as one of the top 10 favorites, or like wanting to like 100% top of the list to get a full bottle when they come out in the summer. But I really like this and can't believe how much, jammed with it. Just, life is full of surprises. So thank you guys very much for watching all the way through to the end, and I will see you tomorrow for day number 23 of Inkvent, closing in on the grand finale. Bye.